Hi, Statesman Nation. We're here with Laura North, head softball coach here at William Penn, as we preview the 2025 season. I think it's the first time I said 2025 season. It's kind of weird. So, all right, Coach. Before we get into 25, let's talk about 24 and the goods, bads, and uglies of year number one here at William Penn and all the things that went with it.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun yet challenging year. Anytime you take over for a legendary coach, you've got some bumps in the road, and we certainly had those, but really proud of our team and how they embraced change and stuff like that. And they I have a different style, and there was some resistance to that from some, but a lot of people that embraced that too, and really proud of them learning and adjusting and stuff like that. And so it took us a little while to kind of figure out who we were and kind of redefine what William Penn softball was or is going to be. And but it was really fun too to kind of allow that team to kind of develop a new identity a little bit. And so yeah, we had some really fun times, and the month of April was really successful. We really turned it on, and we're playing really good softball, but just a little bit too late, and didn't win some games that we should have early, and some of those closer ones, and was one game out from the conference tournament, which was very disappointing to us because we felt like we were good enough to be there. And I know some of the other coaches in the conference felt like we should have been there as well. And so, but it was all on us. We didn't take care of business when we needed to, and let a couple of games get away from us that we should have won. So but that's been a motivating factor for this year. Definitely have some goals that way. So but yeah, we really just took the year to learn a lot, set a really solid foundation with our expectations and the strength and conditioning and our hitting and our work ethic and just some team expectations and stuff. And so not all was lost by not making the in the win-loss column, and really built a strong culture and strong foundation with our girls. And just really excited about carrying that over to this year, and felt like it was a success, even though we didn't win as many games as we'd like to. So,
alrighty, off season wise, obviously, I mean, you lost a good chunk of players, some very talented starters there, but you had an opportunity to fill those holes. So, what were you looking for in the off season in regards to both recruiting, but then just continue to build on that culture that you're looking at?
Well, I think just looking at our what we were good at last year and what we weren't good at last year was really kind of how we were recruiting our kids. And we were really good with our pitching, and our defense was pretty solid in some positions, but not so much in other positions that I felt really kind of lost some games for us. And so we needed a lot of more offense. We just didn't score very many runs, and that was difficult for me as a coach, because coming from programs that we've just had a lot of offensive firepower was difficult to kind of swallow sometimes. And so really went out and recruited some kids that had already had success at the college level, and I guess hit the transfer portal a little bit, even though we don't have one at the NEI.
That's what we do, right?
Yeah, so just with the connections that I've had and the network that I've had, reaching out to some kids that were maybe looking for a new start. And so we brought in some transfers, Lila Peltz and Maren Frazee and Riley Reesberg and Kaya Butler and Maddie Anderson. I think those five right there are really going to be impactful, both on defense and on offense for us. And so that's really exciting for us to bring those kids in that have already played at the college level and had success, and they were coming in really looking for an opportunity to compete. And so yeah, really excited about that. And then from the freshman class, again, just bringing in some solid kids that could contribute to what we were trying to build. And I think that's the biggest thing was our recruiting class that we brought in this year was they're just really quality humans too and really fit well into the culture that we're trying to build. They're really smart kids. They have really solid families and a support system, and they're excited to be here and proud to be a Statesman, and just really fit into the expectations and the culture that we're trying to build. And so that's important too. And so bringing in that many transfers and freshmen to kind of gel with your returners is always challenging, of course. But I'm really proud of the kids that the returners, because they kind of knew that we needed that, and brought them in with open arms, and were equally as excited as we were as a coaching staff to bring in some fresh faces. So
definitely. All right, let's break it down position by position, starting with the pitchers. They're going to touch the ball every play, so let's talk about the main people there.
Yeah, well, I think that's the most exciting position for us right now. Chelsea Huff is returning. She's been a very talented softball player in the conference, and just looking for her to get even better. She's worked extremely hard this fall with our pitching coach, Kylie Barnes, coming in, and we've really fine-tuned some things with Chelsea, and she's really excited about just the sophistication of her spin now, and she's always had speed, and but really getting that ball to move some more is going to help her on the mound. So yeah, Chelsea's going to have the ball. We competed really well last year when Chelsea had the ball, and we're going to continue to do that. So, and then she's going to have some support with transfer pitcher Maddie Anderson. Maddie was an All-American at Indian Hills Community College, and was at Truman State last year, and she's going to be that second kind of 7-inning starter for us. And so we've got two really solid starters that can go the distance for us, and they're very different. Maddie's more of a spin pitcher and really fierce competitor, very smart pitcher. Just really knows softball in the game and how to approach batters. So we're looking forward to her leadership on the mound as well. And then our support staff with our pitching is just tremendous too. We've got a really diverse group. Emily Bryant, who has a ton of experience in innings coming back as our lefty. Tori Smith, who's a sophomore, just tremendous work ethic and throws the ball really hard, and has worked extremely hard this fall to hone in on her really good pitches. And then Abby Thompson has worked really hard to give us a down ball pitcher, and she's just really proud of her efforts and what she gives to our team as kind of a support staff. And then Madison Tracy and freshman Macy Rutledge, they've got a little ways to go here, but again, working really hard, give us a different look, and kind of looking at them with some different positions as well. So yeah, so pitching's going to be pretty solid, I think.
All right, let's talk about the other side of the area with the catchers, and then we'll go around the horn there.
Okay. LJ Smith, Layla was our starter last year, and she, does a really good job just with all of our pitchers, just really solid back there. Is a leader on and off the field, and so having that in your catching position is really important. Maddie Pierce is a senior. Maddie hasn't had a lot of playing time, but she's a fantastic leader and just probably the most unselfish player that I've ever coached. She's just a tremendous team player and does whatever she's asked. So she'll eat up some innings there for us, and she does really well with the umpires. She's got a great rapport with the umpires and receives
gets the calls, right?
She does. I don't know what she says to them, but she does a good job back there. So she'll eat up some innings, and then Erin Dawson is a freshman who is coming. She's from Sigourney and was state champion first baseman there, but we've transitioned her into the catching position. She's a tremendous athlete, really big, strong, athletic girl. And so working with her, she's done some catching in the past. And so that's definitely a position where we're not really deep. And so Erin has agreed to work on that. And so she's caught a lot of bullpens for us this fall. And so we're excited about what she's going to bring. And, our first baseman, we're, already 4 or 5 deep. And so for her to get on the field, that's her fastest way to get on the field. And so she's excited to do that. So yeah, we've got to hopefully stay healthy behind the plate.
Right. All right. First base.
Yeah. So right now it's, like I said, transfer Lila Pelds it's her position to lose right now. She's a tremendous player and great leader on the field. She's had a lot of success at Upper Iowa. Was an all-conference newcomer of the year type player, and just really knows the game, and just kind of your typical first baseman over there. She's tall and knows the position really well. And interestingly enough, she actually played behind Katie Krogan, my assistant. Okay. Katie was the first baseman at Upper Iowa ahead of Lila, and she learned a lot from Katie, and so really has a deep knowledge there. But also offensively, she brings a lot to our lineup. So, and then behind her, we've got Tori Smith, who stepped in last year as a freshman, kind of unexpectedly. Went in and played that position for us when we needed it, and so she can hit, and she's willing to do whatever. So, and then Abby Thompson, again, pitcher, can step into that position. She played there for Iowa Wesleyan, and so has a lot of experience. And we're pretty solid at first base too, just with the depth that we have as well. So.
Second base for years was Nayeli Martinez.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a couple players that have been right there in that middle of that infield for years, and not anymore. She graduated.
Yeah.
So no longer taken by her. So who's taking over second base?
Well, it's kind of up for grabs right now, and I think that position is going to be filled by whoever can create the most offense for us. I think those that had a good fall, Jessica Lathrop from Ankeny, she's a freshman, really solid little player there. She's coming from a really strong Ankeny program, really good travel team up there, and so Jessica has a really high softball IQ. And she created some offense this fall, and really, coming from a program like Ankeny, you got to compete. You've got 90 girls, coming in trying to get on the field, and Jessica has done that. And so she knows how to compete and to go out and just, play without fear and perform. And so she had a really good fall. We're looking at the twins, LJ and Tori Smith, because they create offense, and see if they can, go into that position as well. They looked really good this fall. Macy Rutledge is, again, freshman pitcher, but because of all the pitching that she has ahead of her, she's a talented athlete as well. So we're looking at her at second base a little bit. It's kind of a revolving door right now. Like you said, replacing Nye there is definitely a tough feat, but looking for a new face to kind of own it. And we'll see. Like I said, we've got to have some offense in that position as well.
All right, same thing at shortstop.
Yeah.
Charlie's gone. I feel like we've said those names for years and years and years,
yes.
a lot longer than 4.
Yes.
But yeah, they're so Charlie's gone, and who's going to take over shortstop?
Yeah, I mean that the middles there, they Charlie and I just had such a good chemistry there, and just turned a ton of double plays and stuff. So yeah, tough positions to replace defensively there. So. Transfer, Marin Frazee, she's from Sioux City. She was at St. Rose last year, so she's got a year of D2 softball under her belt. So she's got some experience. She's a really smart player, she will probably be our starter, and we'll see how that goes. Kaya Butler, who's coming off an injury, she was at Kansas Wesleyan last year. She didn't play last year, had a good freshman season, but Kaya is coming off an injury, very athletic, tough kid, and so she's been taking some reps at shortstop. Catchers and shortstops are hard to come by, and so, but I'm confident that the two of them can get the job done, and really athletic and strong arms and smart players. So.
Yeah. All right, finish out the infield, the hot corner.
Yep.
That's important, obviously a very important
Yes.
Position as well. So who's going to be at third base?
Well, that was the position last year that we really struggled to find the right fit with. And we didn't do third base very well last year. We didn't cover the bunt as well as we needed to, didn't cover the 5-6 hole as well as we needed to. Charlie covered a ton of ground at shortstop. And so it's going to be even more important this year to cover more ground. And so right now we're looking at a couple of people, 2 or 3 that they're going to compete for that position. Like Kaya Butler, she fits it really well. She's just she's got a ton of grit and has a nose for the ball, and really exciting, dynamic player over there. She's got a quick release, strong arm, so she fits the third base mold really well. She is coming off an injury, a knee injury, and practiced a little bit this fall, but still kind of getting into it. So, and then we've got freshman Naya Tyroom. That's a really exciting player offensively. When she connects with the ball, it goes. And so, and she's a big, strong girl over there and real quick and stuff. But she's got a little ways to go. We'll see how that goes. But again, having offense in the lineup is going to be really important, and so she's competing for that position as well. Ella Pierce played some there last year, and she's a senior now, and has a really solid arm, fields the ball really well, gets rid of it quick, has not as much mobility as we'd like sometimes. But we've been talking to her about confidence and just kind of having that bulldog mentality and the confidence that you need to just take over and go get the ball. And so Ella's worked really hard this fall. So between the three of them, I think we have some good options.
Sure. All right, outfield.
Yeah.
Left to right.
Yeah. Well, Peyton Naranjo was our left fielder all last year, and it's hers to lose again. She had a really solid offensive season last year. She's a tough kid to get out of the lineup just because she's so solid, and so yeah, she'll likely be our left fielder. I also know that Peyton's been taking some ground balls, and so she knows that second base position is open, and so she's played there some in the past, and so I kind of forgot to mention her, but she's willing to do whatever, and so Peyton in the outfield, and then transfer Riley Reesberg. She's from another Ankeny kid and was at Sioux Falls last year, so has a year of college ball under her. She was a really talented Ankeny high school player, and she just looks really good and confident in center field for us this fall. We are pretty thin, in the outfield still. But we've got another transfer, Elise Rios, who's coming at semester from Upper Iowa. She's from Iowa City. She played for me for a year, and so she's looking for a fresh start. She's a really talented outfielder, left-handed hitter. She can slap. She's kind of a triple threat. She can slap, she can hit, she can bunt, and so looking for her to kind of fill a void. But then we've got some other kids that have been taking reps out there because we are thin. Katie Shury from Ottumwa has really turned it on defensively. Katie's a little bit limited offensively, and she knows that. But defensively, she had a really good fall, and she's the kind of kid that'll just run through a fence for you and is desperate to win and really competitive. So Katie's done a really good job. We've got some other kids that are just taking fly balls out there trying to get on the field, and so it's going to be really competitive. We're again, we got to have some offense in those positions too. So I know like the Twins have been taking fly balls. Even LJ took some. She played a couple innings out there last year for us, and Tori's willing to play anywhere too. So I think we're going to start off by trying to put our best 9 hitters in the lineup and see what they can do with defense.
Some position, right?
Yeah. So exactly. It'll be a puzzle. So because that's what we need most. I mean, we were not very good offensively last year, and so we've got to score runs to win games. And so I think that's going to be the important part, is just get your 9 best hitters in there and sub when you can, and try to minimize the defensive holes as much as we can. And I guess that's why they let you re-enter, so we can use.
You gotta love that flex position, right?
Yeah, and we can get creative with our lineup card, and bring those kids in like Katie, that's good on defense, and not have to use her on the offensive side, but get a couple of defensive innings out of her when we can, and we've got some other kids that can do that too. So we'll just have to make sure we have some messy lineup cards. So
great. The SID is going to love that. I'll tell everybody to be prepared.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the non-conference schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a couple of tournaments. You're going back up to Sioux Center. The Dort Dome tournaments obviously treated you pretty well last year, so I wanted to do that again. And then obviously a trip down to Arizona for spring break. So just talk about how those, talking roughly almost 20 games that are going to prepare you for the conference season.
Yeah, so it's nice, to get 14 games in February with those indoor tournaments. The 2 Dort ones and the one in Chicago that we're going back to.
Right.
Yeah,
Chicago,
the Rosemont Dome, and those facilities are fantastic. When you have to play inside, those 2 facilities just they're about as real as you can get in a dome. So we appreciate, them putting those tournaments on, and it's a tough schedule. We've got our schedule, and they're tough. So we gotta be ready February 7th to come out and play, and just have the confidence to go out and play. So, yeah. And then Arizona we got our schedule finalized, and really good, kind of some really good teams, but not so good teams too. So we'll be able to win some games, but also go down there and compete. And it's just a really good trip for our team, and team
Great
chemistry.
bonding, right?
And our the families, they travel so well, and our support is fantastic. And so it's just a really fun trip for us to get down there and be together as a team and really get to know each other, and our families, being there, and making us dinner and stuff. So just a really important time for our team. So we're really looking forward to that. But yeah, it's going to be a tough schedule. But it's indicative of our conference, because you can't take anybody for granted. We got to show up every game and play. Because even if you look at the records of the teams, in our preseason that, we're playing that maybe we're less than 500, they still went out and beat some teams. So no days off.
For sure. All right. As far as the heart goes, then, you have the likes of, the Central Methodist and the Grandview, Mid-Am, Benedictine in their Mount Mercy. The list keeps going
Baker.
on and on. Yeah, Baker, obviously, yeah.
Yep.
I know I'm going to forget others. Doesn't matter. They're not us. But who are you looking at this year? Are you looking at any dark horses, and kind of where does William Penn fit in that whole equation?
Yeah, I think we start out where we ended last year, right in the middle, and like I said, the end of the season, I think that, in April we were playing really good softball, and I think that we knew we belonged at the conference tournament, and there were, several coaches that knew we belonged there, and so we're motivated and kind of chomping at the bit. But gosh, the heart is tough. Four teams make it to the postseason last year. Make a regional, so that's pretty insane. So, Grandview, Baker, Central Methodist, and Benedictine are just going to continually be tough. So. However, we competed well with all those teams last year, and we just were not quite there. We didn't beat any of them, but we had opportunities to beat them with a not very good team. So I think that, obviously they're going to be good again. They're, recruiting and, just have a ton of tradition and stuff. And so, but I think the girls know internally that we are much better this year than we were last year, and they can see that. And so, we weren't too far off last year. And then, but, the rest of them, we got to go out and play too, because they, Clark, we went up and played, and I know we swept them, but it was inning by inning there, and they're Garland does just a great job with his teams, and always I competed with him when he was at Marshalltown and I was at Indian Hills, and he always prepares his teams well. And so, Peru State, I know they didn't win a lot of games, on paper last year, but they came in, and competed against us in the last two games, and really didn't have anything to compete for. They weren't going to make the tournament.
That was such a weird day.
Yeah, it was. But you just can't back up to anybody. So there's just a ton of respect for the conference and the coaches and the players that they have on their teams. And so, I think our preseason is going to just prepare us for that. Just no days off. So.
Yeah. Alrighty, I said before we got on the air that we're going to throw a whole bow on it. So we talked a lot about the team and what's it going to take for the team to reach the goals that you guys have set.
Well, we're just going to have a lot of grit and competitiveness, and expect to win. I think last year, we showed up, a lot of times just thinking that we had a mountain to climb, or that we, just couldn't win. And so some of these kids that we've brought in, the transfers and stuff, just have that expectation to win. They know how to win, either from their high school team or their college team that they're coming from. They expect to win, and so we have to have that expectation, but we have to go get it. It's not going to come easy. It's not, teams are not going to roll over and die for us. And we have to be aggressive, and we have to score runs. We can't wait for another team to make a mistake. We have to be aggressive, and so. We've been putting a lot of pressure on them, and trying to coach them up and coach them hard, and it's been challenging at times and frustrating on their part. But we love to win games, and we need to do more of that. So, but it's not going to come easy, and they have to go do it. It's not just going to fall in our lap. and we do have big goals. We want to make that conference tournament, but we also want to fight for a championship somewhere, and make a postseason. I think it's when it's within reach with any team in our conference. I mean, we've got those top 4 that consistently are there, but they kind of have that it factor of being used to winning, and going and competing. And so no team in our conference is that far off from replacing one of those top 4. And so we're looking to do that, and excited to get out and compete.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Well, in about a month time, I guess whenever this airs, so I shouldn't say such things, but the team will be starting off February 7th and 8th. I think both days. Up in Sioux Center at the one of the Dort Dome tournaments. So if you're around the area and want to catch some softball in February,
climate
seems
controlled.
weird, yes, climate controlled and all of that. So definitely check out the Statesmen there. But thanks, Coach North. Appreciate you so much. Best of luck in 2025.
Thank you.